Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop whatever you are doing, because this is one of those moments where the baseball universe clears its throat, taps the microphone, and says, "You might want to pay attention now." The Toronto Blue Jays have just pulled off a move so sharp, so quietly ruthless, that the rest of Major League Baseball may not even realize they've been cut until the bleeding starts. This wasn't a rumor that simmered for days. This wasn't a slow leak. This was lightning, and it struck without warning. Moments ago, news broke that the Toronto Blue Jays have finalized a deal that feels less like a signing and more like a perfectly executed heist. Another starting pitcher has arrived, but not just any arm. This is a KBO superstar, an MVP, a man who didn't merely dominate his league but ruled it with an iron grip and a calm smile. Today on the Blue Jays Report, we're breaking down exactly who Cody Pon is, why this contract is borderline criminal value, and why this move is a flashing neon sign telling us the Blue Jays are nowhere near finished. Before we dive headfirst into the chaos, do me a quick favor. If you enjoy smart, fast, daily Toronto Blue Jays content, hit that like button, share this video with another Jays fan, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report. You won't want to miss what's coming next, because if this move tells us anything, it's that this off-season is about to get loud. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to be here again today. This is already my third video, and just when it felt like the dust might finally settle, baseball decided to kick the door back open. Cody Pon wasn't a name dominating Jays Twitter this morning. He wasn't plastered across trade boards last night. Then Ben Nicholson-Smith quietly dropped a report, and before anyone could even process it, Jeff Passan came flying in with the confirmation. 3 years. $30 million. Pending a physical. Done. Let that number sit with you for a moment, because context is everything. The reigning American League champions just signed the KBO MVP. This is a pitcher who went 17-1 with a microscopic 1.89 ERA. Striking out 252 batters across 180 innings. Those aren't good numbers. Those are video game numbers. That's dominance so complete it borders on disrespectful. And the Blue Jays just locked him up for $10 million a year. This is wild, and not in a reckless way. This is wild in a calculated, chess grandmaster way. The kind of move that makes front offices across the league quietly open spreadsheets and wonder what they missed. Because Cody Pon is not a fluke, not a lottery ticket, and certainly not the pitcher he once was in Major League Baseball. Yes, if you rewind the tape back to 2021, you'll see Cody Pon in Pittsburgh, struggling, wearing the numbers that make fans instinctively recoil. An ERA north of 7. A winless record. The kind of stat line that convinces teams to move on without a second glance. But here's the thing about pitchers who leave and reinvent themselves abroad. They don't just change scenery. They change identity. Pon went overseas and did something most pitchers never managed to do. He rebuilt himself from the ground up. His arsenal was stripped, sharpened, and reforged. His fastball gained velocity, ticking up by nearly 2 miles per hour. His changeup didn't just improve, it evolved into an elite weapon. Then came the splitter, a pitch so devastating it looks like gravity itself has taken sides. By the time he finished his KBO campaign, Cody Pon wasn't surviving. He was hunting. A 30.3% strikeout-to-walk ratio over more than 180 innings isn't an accident. Winning the pitching Triple Crown isn't luck. Being named KBO MVP isn't narrative-driven fluff. It's proof of total command, and the Blue Jays didn't buy potential here. They bought production. And this is where the contract becomes almost insulting. In a market where relievers are fetching $15 million a year and mid-rotation starters are pushing 20, Toronto secured a fully stretched-out starter with elite swing-and-miss stuff for $10 million annually. That's not a gamble. That's a calculated steal. This might already be the best value signing of the Jays off-season, and we're only just getting started. If this front office didn't believe in Cody Pon, this deal wouldn't exist. Period. This is the same organization that took calculated risks on pitchers before, watched them transform, and cashed in on the results. We've seen it with arms returning from overseas. We've seen it with veterans who found new life in Toronto. This isn't blind faith. This is pattern recognition. Pon isn't even old. He's 31, coming off the best season of his professional career. In 2024, across international leagues, he posted eras in the low twos, reinforcing that this wasn't a one-year lightning strike. There's a body of work here, and while every transition carries risk, this one is cushioned by depth, money, and upside. What makes this even more fascinating is how perfectly he fits into the Blue Jays' evolving identity. Cody Pon added a splitter as a primary weapon in Korea, and now Toronto suddenly boasts multiple starters who weaponize that pitch. This isn't coincidence. This is philosophy. This is a rotation being sculpted, not assembled. And here's where things get truly interesting. The Blue Jays are not signing Cody Pon to be a reliever. Ben Nicholson-Smith has already confirmed that he's coming in as a starter. That single sentence sends shockwaves through the entire pitching staff. Because if he's a starter, someone else is suddenly expendable. Look at this rotation. Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, Yusei Kikuchi's successor. Young arms knocking on the door. There have already been whispers about Jose Berrios, about discomfort, about uncertainty. Suddenly, those whispers have a place to land. The Jays aren't building a six-man rotation. They are building leverage. This is how contenders operate. You stockpile strength, then decide who stays and who turns into assets. With the winter meetings just days away, this move feels less like an ending and more like the opening chapter of something bigger. Toronto isn't waiting. They're striking early, and they're striking smart. It's December, and the Blue Jays are already behaving like a team that knows exactly what it wants. Aggressive. Opportunistic. Unafraid. This is the posture of a franchise that tasted the final stages and decided it wasn't enough. You don't make moves like this if you're standing still. So ask yourself this. If Cody Pon is already in the building, if the rotation is suddenly crowded, if contracts are lining up perfectly, what's next? A trade? A blockbuster bat? Another international swing? The board is wide open, and Toronto holds more cards than ever. This is why you stay locked into the Blue Jays report. Because moments like this don't happen in isolation. They ripple. They create momentum. And they tell a story long before the season ever begins. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still thinks this signing flew under the radar. Cody Pon didn't just sign with the Blue Jays. He announced their intentions. He's a pitcher reborn, a bargain secured, and a signal fired across the league. $10 million a year for this version of Cody Pon might look laughable by July. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you see this as the steal of the offseason? Do you think this opens the door to a major trade? However you slice it, one thing is clear. Things are about to get crazy in Toronto, and this story is only just beginning. This has been the Blue Jays Report. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for what comes next.